A renowned DJ, a famous K-pop star, and a Japanese billionaire walk into a bar, or in this case, into one of the most ambitious space missions. No, there isn't a punchline since they're definitely not kidding with sending this random group of people to the moon. Just this April, Elon Musk proudly announced that almost everyone would be able to afford a ticket to Mars right after his company colonizes the red planet. While these ideas are definitely wild and someone was probably having delusions of grandeur in the meeting room, SpaceX is determined to get these ideas from the drawing board to reality. And following that announcement, his company also unveiled how space tourism could finally be encouraged by sending artists to perform in space. That's definitely a lot to digest. You don't hear news about being able to live on Mars and definitely not about artists in space. Welcome back to International Tech Masters. Stick around so you'll be able to figure out what all the hype is about with the trending dearMoon mission. I bet you weren't expecting those strings of words to be said in one go, but there's no way to say it better. In 2013, the dearMoon project was unveiled to the public, funded by Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa, who is assigned as the spacecraft commander. The crew, along with Yusaku, consists of 8 people, all from different nationalities and fields in the arts. I know what you might be thinking, arts and spacecrafts. How are those two even related? But this is exactly the purpose of the dearMoon mission: to merge performance arts and space traveling for the encouragement of space tourism. Big names such as T.O.P and Steve Aoki will be joining this space endeavor and possibly give a performance that is quite literally out of this world. But before we could give you more details about the dearMoon mission, let us know what you think about the project. Do you think they'll be able to push through with its launch in 2023 like they promised? Or do you believe that it would be too ambitious at this time to send 8 people to the moon who are not exactly professionals in space travel? Comment down below what you think about this space mission. Apollo 11, or better known as the first moon landing, was definitely a much-awaited event that faced a lot of skepticism before the launch. People used to say that sending a man to the moon was impossible, but despite their lack of faith, millions of people glued their eyes to their TV screens as they watched Neil Armstrong's first steps in that crater-filled plane that many thought was unreachable. But that's the thing with humanity, right? Each day we achieve something beyond what was believed to be impossible. That's why the dearMoon mission shouldn't be as shocking as it is right now, but as it was announced, people are still very much looking forward to it. Whether they want to see their favorite K-pop idol performing in space, or they just want to see to it that SpaceX will be successful in this project, the dearMoon mission has definitely garnered a varied audience starting from day one. Among those who will be a part of the crew is a Korean artist named T.O.P. With his hectic schedule, T.O.P still managed to squeeze in a week-long lunar trip, because who in their right mind would pass up the opportunity to go to the moon? Indian actor Dev Joshi was also accepted to be a part of the crew as a mission specialist, along with popular DJ and producer Steve Aoki. If you're wondering how artists from different parts of the world managed to huddle together for this space mission, this is because Yusaku has called for applicants to join the crew for the project. We don't know exactly if Yusaku had a list in mind on who will be accepted to the program, but it's already obvious that he was lining up accomplished artists for the mission. You might be thinking way ahead from this project while hearing the news. If these people could get on board for a trip to the moon, then there could be a future where people like Bruno Mars or Lady Gaga are performing in space. But before you get excited over thinking of famous figures that you want to see perform in space, don't forget to give this video a like and click on the notification bell to get you posted on our next upload, and subscribe to our channel. Going back, have you wondered why Yusaku was doing all of this? There's probably many kids that dreamed of becoming an astronaut, and the Japanese billionaire might have been one of them. But aside from him manifesting his childhood dreams in real life because he has an unimaginable amount of disposable wealth, why else did he fund this project? Yusaku stated that he's doing this to spread a message that dreams do come true as long as we continue to reach towards it. And he also added that doing this space mission will endorse world peace. YouTuber Tim Dodd, a member of the crew, said that he doesn't know if he'll ever be emotionally prepared for the trip, but that in itself is part of the adventure. Photographer Rhiannon Adam is also excited for the trip and is expecting for the space mission to completely change her life. While the members of the program are filled with hopeful artists and an enthusiastic billionaire, money and ambition will not be enough to fuel the spacecraft that will send them to the moon. SpaceX has recently given a discretion that the project might launch at a much later date than 2023. The company isn't exactly foolproof, as they have also announced projects that were either discontinued or were launched way past the promised deadlines. In any other situation, it could be said that it's not rocket science, but this is exactly what SpaceX is dealing with. And rocket science requires a ridiculous amount of prototype testing and a lot of trial and error observations before they could launch. Right now, NASA is still keeping SpaceX in check and would only give the tech company their needed paperwork if they have accomplished proper testing and sufficient conditions. These billionaires are rushing to get themselves into space, all for the sake of space tourism. But don't jump the gun yet just because you heard the word tourism. It's not quite what you might think. While the idea of it is nice, the moon isn't some sort of tourist attraction yet where you could line up for a ticket and you get to be on board to space. Space tourism simply refers to the act of space travel done as something that is recreational. Astronauts that are out in space right now are busy jotting down notes of their observations and discoveries. But in space tourism, it's quite a different setting. The billionaires lining up to experience space tourism are going to be in space just for the mere experience of it. Float around for a while, get to know what life is like in a weightless environment, and do other enjoyable things that astronauts do without the studying part. This really makes you think that money can buy almost anything that you could think of. While these billionaires are funding these space missions for their enjoyment, and possibly for a future where everyone else can enjoy it as well, let's not forget about the hidden figures that are working to make all of this possible. Behind the CEO of the spacecraft company are a team of engineers, researchers, and scientists that are pulling out all-nighters just to achieve the impossible. Scurrying around in their intimidating computers and their blackboards full of complex equations, these people also make the dream work. Along with their job to make sure the spacecraft are launched properly, they also need to make sure that the crew gets to go back to Earth safe and sound, which is probably why it's taking longer than expected to commence the dearMoon mission. Though not as soon as we anticipated, improved space tourism is coming thanks to everyone working on the project. But great things such as this will be worth the wait. Unfortunately, that is it for today's video. If you liked this video, you might want to check out our other uploads by clicking the button above. And lastly, if you want to know more about the latest tech news, make sure to hit like, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell to keep you posted.